All right, we are on. So I'm sure at this point everyone has seen enough of these videos, but my name is Sarah Hornsby and I am doing a mouth breathing awareness campaign. And I'm interviewing all of the amazing MyoMentor graduates who get to go through my program to hear their stories about myofunctional issues. So the whole idea of this awareness campaign is to highlight stories of real doctors and dentists and hygienists who have myofunctional symptoms in hopes that maybe this information will get more spread out to our patients. So mouth breathing is such a simple symptom I think anyone can pick up on, and it's a big red flag for other bigger health issues, and it's connected to a lot of bigger things like sleep apnea, snoring, clenching and grinding, and tongue tie. So today I have Tamara Lindley here. Thank you, Tamara, for coming on and sharing your story. Tamara is a hygienist and a myofunctional therapist from San Diego. So take it away, Tamara. What do you want to talk about today?
I was just going to talk about my story and how I kind of got on this myofunctional therapy journey, how I started with you, and the pros and everything that I've gotten from myself, all the benefits of learning that I was a mouth breather and all that.
Awesome.
So
Oh, I didn't know. So you actually did think you were mouth breathing? I knew you have a tongue tie story, but you think you
yeah,
were mouth breathing?
yeah. So it wasn't like very noticeable, but my lips would always be cracked and I'd be breathing through my mouth. And now I can notice it all the time on other people, obviously. And I'm like,
Yep.
my parents, I'm like, close your mouth. You're breathing through your mouth.
I know. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's what everyone says. So,
Yeah. So it
so
wasn't like a major thing, but it was definitely there.
okay, no, that's interesting. I learned something new about you. So did you start off going down the professional path and then that led you to the getting yourself, you know, figuring out your own symptoms? Is that kind of how it started?
I ended up starting with a continuing education course locally here at the Dental Hygiene Society that one of the therapists had put on. And I went because I wanted to know what it was. So I've heard of myofunctional therapy in hygiene school, but
That's cool. Most of
I
us
know,
never hear about it in school, so that's lucky.
yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was Joy Mueller who came to my hygiene school in Los Angeles area.
Oh.
And I remember going, what is she talking about? I don't understand any of it.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, I'll figure it out later. Well, I think it was 8 years later, I was like, oh, that there's a course that I can kind of just learn what it is and go from there. So I went and then realized, oh, I think I have a tongue thrust and that's why my teeth keep moving, even though I'm wearing my retainer. So
Okay,
throughout
cool.
the day, I'd get the little diastema in between the front two teeth. And then at nighttime, pop my retainer on and it would close back up. And I just thought, that can't be good for my teeth, always
Yeah.
moving forth like that. I was worried about the roots and all that kind of stuff. So I came home and I Googled myofunctional therapy and you popped up. And so even then I was
Okay.
kind of like, I don't really understand it. But as we talked, I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. So once I figured out I had all this stuff, then I was like, okay, I think I want to study it. But I didn't realize how severe everything was. Not severe, but worse than I thought it was for myself.
Yeah, and how important it is. Like people never make the connection. They think, oh yeah, I have a tongue thrust or I have a tongue tie. And I think so many of us in the healthcare world are guilty of it because we always put our own symptoms last. Like, oh, I'll help my family and my patients and like I'll get to my stuff later. But
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then just realizing like how the tongue tie is genetic. And so then of course I come home and I'm looking at everybody's tongue and everybody thinks I'm crazy because I'm looking at everybody's tongue. And then realizing everybody in my family mouth breathing and the different severities of, someone maybe tied and not need to release, all that kind of stuff too. So
yeah.
little nieces and nephews having it all the way up to my grandparents and having it. It's kind of
Okay.
interesting to see.
So I know
So
you've gone through kind of a journey of having your tongue tie release and working on this stuff, but take us through that because I know it wasn't the easiest path, right?
yeah, I think the trickiest part was finding someone back then. It was 2017,
Hmm.
finding someone who understood it and wanted to do, the deeper release or the complete release. So I remember you and I chatting, and it was hard to find someone locally who knew how to do it. At the time, I didn't know Dr. Zaghi. And
Yeah.
so that would have been awesome. But I did find someone locally and I had that done. And it was very interesting because I knew what to kind of feel for, and I could
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I can't lift my tongue on this side. So he was kind of chuckling because I would kind of say, you got to go over here more, or you got to go over here more. And he's like, you're the first one
Oh,
who's ever like talked during this. So like, I don't know. I could feel the tension. So once he released
interesting.
it was pretty profound in my shoulders and my neck. I could feel that. And it felt weird to be able to touch places in my mouth that I've never felt before. I've never
Yeah,
felt.
because I think you were pretty restricted. And I remember you, I think at one point we met on Zoom and you're like, I might be tongue tied. I'm not really sure. And I was like, oh, you're definitely tongue tied.
Yeah. Yes, I definitely had on. And even now looking back, I look at pictures and seeing the progression's kind of cool. But yeah, I had no range of motion. I couldn't touch the upper molars. So being able to feel that now, or even my
Yeah.
palate now, is pretty cool.
And then, I mean, I thought you had to have it released a second or maybe even a third time, no?
So I had it twice. So he didn't, because he knew what he had done releases, but he was doing the scissor suture technique. He didn't quite get as much. So I waited, I did my exercises, stretching, and then I still had a little bit of tension. So it was my option to do another revision. So I only did it twice, and I'm glad I did because I could feel a little more release and a little more opening.
Good. Okay. Well, that's really good. And so do you feel like now your tongue is up, you breathe through your nose, like all the pieces have come together?
Yeah, all of them come together. My lips are easily sealed. It feels weird not. If I try to think about having my tongue down, it doesn't feel comfortable anymore. It has to be up in the roof of the mouth.
Yeah, awesome. What other symptoms? I know you mentioned like you felt the difference in your neck and shoulders, but did anything else like happen sleep-wise, or I don't know, did you have any other experiences?
Yeah, so I clenched bad all the
That's right.
time.
Yeah.
I had bad clenching. And so that actually went away. I don't clench anymore. So it's kind of nice because I would get headaches, a ton of headaches. I always had like a minor headache every single day, and I was just kind of the way I was. And then I remember people saying that you would not have, potentially not have headaches afterwards. And I thought, oh no. And then after I was keeping track of journal, and I maybe had one headache a month after
Wow.
that. So
I mean,
yeah,
that's a big deal. That's like a huge quality of life changing thing, you
completely.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So
That
that's
was a big
amazing.
one.
hmm what about sleep? Did you ever have sleep issues or sleep? I mean, most people don't even think they have sleep issues, but did you notice like, wow, now I sleep so much better. I never thought I slept bad before, anything like that?
Yeah, I didn't think I slept bad before, but I know I'd wake up with the dry mouth at nighttime. I had a little bit of snoring, very baby snoring, that went away. But for the most part, it was mostly waking up with dry mouth and drooling.
Yeah.
Or no,
Okay.
I don't have that.
Yeah. Awesome. What about that diastema, the space that you would always get? Is that stable?
Stable. I don't wear retainers anymore.
Wow. Okay, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've come a long way. I mean, and there's a couple interviews. I think Erin was one of them, and who else? People were saying, I don't really have that big of symptoms, but even this kind of stuff, like the space in your front teeth, I mean, that's something that matters to people, and it's probably better for your roots of your teeth that it's not shifting around all the time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Back and forth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I know we've also had the opportunity to work together, and you've got your own practice, facial physique in San Diego, but I love that you've been able to work under my umbrella of faceology for a while, starting back in 2017. And, that I've got a chance to get to know you and have you see patients. So I'm happy
Yeah.
about that.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else you want to add, or any shout outs you want to give, like local dentists or anything that you want to share? Any last stuff, or should we just wrap it up?
I mean, there's local dentists who are learning every day, so it's awesome that they're all taking the Zoggy courses and learning about airway health, and orthodontists that are coming on board with all of it. So it's definitely changed since I first started in 2017 with you. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for taking me under your wing and showing
Oh,
me how to do all this, and that's why I am a therapist now and have all that training through you. So I I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, it's been really cool. I like seeing, how all this has grown and evolved, and now I have all these myofunctional therapists who are wanting to do interviews, and it's amazing. So
Exciting. Yeah.
yeah, I think sharing all this information is important, and I'm super happy that you shared your story. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I guess I'll let you get going, but yeah, have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.